اثنين ثلاثة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وتقا وهدى يا أرحم الراحمين. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد، يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فآمن له لوط وقال إني مهاجر إلى ربي إنه هو العزيز الحكيم. ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب وجعلنا في ذريته النبوة والكتاب وآتيناه أجره في الدنيا وإنه في الآخرة لمن الصالحين. And Lut believed him. Abraham said, Indeed, I will immigrate to the service of my Lord. Indeed, he is the exalted in might, the wise. And we gave to him Ishaq and Yaqub, and placed in his descendants prophethood and scripture. And we gave him his reward in this world, and indeed he is in the hereafter among the righteous. And قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: ونجيناه ولوطا إلى الأرض التي باركنا فيها للعالمين ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب نافلة وكلا جعلنا صالحين وجعلناهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا وأوحينا إليهم فعل الخيرات وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وكانوا لنا عابدين. And we delivered him and Lut to the land which we had blessed for the worlds, and we gave him Ishaq and Yaqub in addition, and all of them we made righteous. So last time, when we were talking about the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, we stopped at the part where he and the Namrud had the argument about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Namrud said, no, I'm Allah, waliyadu billah. And he said, I'm the Lord, I can bring the death back and I can keep people alive. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam hajjah, he made the absolute hujjah, he gave the absolute reasoning for his false claim, and he asked him if he can bring the sun from the west, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the sun from the east. And Namrud failed. He could not bring the sun from the west because he's not a god. فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. So after this incident, Namrud wanted Ibrahim dead. He sent troops and soldiers and spies in order to get Ibrahim and kill him. And we talked about how Namrud was taught magic and black magic and worshipping Iblis by Iblis himself. We talked about how the Sumerian and the Babylonian mythologies that inspired other mythologies, such as the Greek and the Egyptian mythologies, they all surround and circulate around one topic, which is there's a god claimed to be the god of light that gave another god the ability to be God. And you have certain thousands of gods, each of whom has a certain symbol of a planet or a star, and they make for them a symbol as an idol or a statue to worship. And Namrud was called Mardukh in those Sumerian mythology. And he became the king of the world, and he spread this ideology with him, and every single nation started worshipping Iblis, waliyadu billah. And in order to do that in their religion, in these mythologies, worshipping Iblis required certain rituals. It required killing, it required committing adultery, it required, waliyadu billah, committing shudud, waliyadu billah, which is, men with men and women with women, waliyadu billah. All of these were rituals in order to get closer to Iblis. Ibrahim could not take it anymore in Mesopotamia. He was ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to immigrate for his own safety, number one. Number two, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they're not going to be guided anymore. لأن خلاص يعني الله سبحانه وتعالى يهدي من يشاء ويضل من يشاء لن يتم هدايتهم. They're not going to be guided. إنهم قوم ضالون. They are misguided. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, his nephew was Lut alayhi salam, Prophet Lut. And his cousin was Sarah, Sarai in Christianity and Judaism, Sarah. His father Tarih or Azar, and he had an uncle named Haran, and he had a brother named Haran and another brother named Nahur. So we said Ibrahim is Ibrahim bin Azar ibn Nahur. He had two brothers again, Haran and Nahur. Haran, he had Lut. So we can see the connection. Ibrahim is the uncle of Lut. Nahur got married to his cousin, and Ibrahim got married to his cousin. Now they had an uncle which is called Haran Senior, right? Because there's Haran, the uncle, and there's Haran, the nephew, the brother of Ibrahim, and Haran, the uncle of Ibrahim. So Haran Senior had two daughters, Malka and Sarah, and both of them were married to their cousins. Sarah married Ibrahim, and Malka married Nahur. This family immigrated out of Mesopotamia, immigrated out of Babylon, to be precise. Babylon and all of these city-states that were there, they immigrated out of them and went to the city of Harran, which is in north of Syria today. In North Syria. Harran, they say that it derived its name from the uncle of Ibrahim, because the one who built the city is Haran. And thus you can see the connection. Haran, Harran. In Arabic it would be Harran. In other languages it would be Haran. And he's the one who built the city, and in some reports and sources they claim that he was actually the king of that city as well. So Sarah would be the princess, the daughter of the king. And that she could not also take it anymore with her people worshipping, the shaitan, idols, and doing all of these things. So she left the city and she got married to her cousin. Either case, she is the cousin of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So they traveled to Harran. They lived there, and the reason that Ibrahim alayhi salam wanted to travel to Harran was so he can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without any external interfering. And they did go to Harran, they did worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he kept preaching for his father, Tarih or Azar. Let's call him Azar, since this is how it's written in the Quran, and to make it more easier for us to understand. So he kept preaching for his father Azar to accept Islam. But his father kept refusing. And here Ibrahim kept saying, سأستغفر لك, I will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your forgiveness. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, as we said earlier with the story of Nuh, the familyhood, the relationship is not just the relationship of the blood, but it's also the relationship of the creed. Your father does not believe in Allah and he worships the shaitan, Iblis. So, yes, he's your father biologically. Treat him as your father biologically, but don't ask for his forgiveness. This is between him and Allah. إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ مِنْ أَهْلِكَ إِنَّهُ عَمَلٌ غَيْرُ صَالِحٍ. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Nuh when he asked forgiveness for his son, who died a kafir, a mushrik. So, Azar died. He died mushrik. He died kafir. Some sources claim he became a Muslim. For instance, the Shia source, they say that Azar actually was the uncle of Ibrahim, and Tarih was the father, and Azar is the kafir, and Tarih was a Muslim. But this is false because it contradicts what the Sunnah has said, the Prophet ﷺ has said, and also the Quran about this. So no, Azar is Tarih. Azar is the father of Ibrahim, and he died a non-Muslim. He died a kafir. So after that, Ibrahim and his family immigrated to Aleppo, Halab, in northern Syria as well. The name Aleppo comes from an action Ibrahim alayhi salam did in that city. Ibrahim alayhi salam had a cow. That cow's name was Shahba, al-Shahba. So there he milked his cow, Halab. Halaba baqaratah. This is what they say in Arabic. Milking the animal, we say Halaba al-Baqara. He milked the cow. And so they said, Halab al-Shahba. When the people saw him, Ibrahim in that city, they said, Halab al-Shahba, in that site. And since then they kept calling it Halab al-Shahba. And throughout years it would become just Halab, Halab. And in English it made its way to Aleppo. And after that they stayed for a while, and after that they moved into Damascus. And near Damascus there is a hara, or a quarter in English. Its name is Barza. There's a maqam, there's a site where Ibrahim alayhi salam has worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very famous in Syria. It's called Barza, this city or this quarter. And after that they left Damascus, and then they came to Palestine. Back then it was known as Canaan, because the Arab Canaani tribes settled in there. The Canaani tribes, they are the descendants of Lawith. Remember, we had Sam, Ham, Yafeth. Sam had Arfakhashad, Lawith, Iram, Ashur, and Ailam. So they were the descendants of Lawith bin Sam. Those were Amaliq. They were Arabs. They spoke Arabic, a dialect of Arabic. Because at that certain period of time, the Arabic that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught to Adam, which is Al-Arabiyya Al-Mubina, did not exist anymore because of the many dialects that there was back then. So we had Ibrahim speaking the Syria Chaldean Arabic dialect, and we had those Canaani people speaking the Canaani dialect of Arabic, and so on. So he lived in Canaan, and of course the people of Canaan were not Muslims. They were worshipping idols as well. One of the most famous idols was Baal. Baal, his symbol is an ox, cow, ox, sheep, all of these type of animals. Just a side note, there's a part, we're going to inshallah talk about it, but there's a part in Musa's story when a Samiri, he constructs an idol or a statue that looks like a ijl, near a cow, or the son of a cow, or a son of an ox. This ijl is Baal. It's a symbol for Baal. So basically a Samiri, he convinced the Israelites to worship Baal and leave Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they worshipped the same, gods, Baal, Anno, Inanna, Ishtar, whatever you can call her. And he just immigrated there so he can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now in Canaan, and just as a side note as well, the Canaanites are also the Phoenicians, the Phoenicians. They're the same people. And they're the same as the Carthaginians later on. So in Canaan, there was a period of time where there was drought and everything became very expensive. Life is expensive. Ibrahim could not live during that life. Drought, there's no water, there's not enough food, it's very expensive to live there. So they sought to go to Egypt, where in Egypt there was a prosperous kingdom. There was food, there was water, everything. So they went to Egypt. In Egypt, the king of Egypt was known to be a tyrant. And he was part of the kingdom of Namrud. So basically, you can say he's like a, like a governor of Egypt. But Namrud gave him the title of a king. Now they say this king, he's the brother of Namrud. They say he's Amr ibn Imru al-Qais. They say he's, what was his name? Sinan ibn something. It's not in my mind right now. We're going to get to it. But yeah, they said he's Sinan, which is a descendant of Lawith as well, from Amaliq. So he's like Canaani. So in either case, in the history of Egypt, there was a period of time where the Hyksos, tribe known as the Hyksos, where they were Amorites, Amoriyun. And those people were part of the Mesopotamia, Babylonia. They lived there. They came and invaded Egypt. and they killed the Egyptian kings who were the descendants of Misra'im ibn Ham, and they killed them, and they took their wives as slaves, handmaids. So the king back then in Egypt was named Sanusaret. He had a sister, her name was Hajar. And we're going to see who's Hajar after that. So Hajar was a princess, an Egyptian princess. So when that person, let's say he's the brother of Namrud, for instance, or whatever the reports claim, it's more accurate to say his brother, because if Namrud is from Babylon, then he would come from Babylon as well, right? The Hyksos. So he came over, he killed the Egyptians, he spread the religion of the Namrud, and he took the ladies as slaves. Now he had a certain tyranny type. Any beautiful woman in Egypt, he would take her, enslave her forcibly, and he would kill her husband. This is what he would do. And this is, by the way, part of the rituals that they used to do, people like Namrud, in order to get closer to Iblis, billah, raping, for instance. This is one of the rituals they used to do to get closer to Iblis. This is what they believed. This is their mentality was set like that, those tyrants. So Ibrahim alayhi salam and Sarah wanted to go there. Now it's a problem, because Sarah, according to reports and hadiths, she was the most beautiful woman in history after Hawa. So Hawa is known to be the most beautiful woman in history. There's no woman more beautiful than her. Sarah is the second. She comes after her in her beauty. So this is a problem. That guy gets those beautiful women and he rapes them. Right? So Ibrahim went there. The soldiers saw her, and they went to the king, to the Egyptian king, and they said, "Hey, there is that one man who came into Egypt, and he has a very beautiful woman." So the Egyptian king got curious. So he's like, "You know what? Bring her to me." So they asked Ibrahim, "Who's this for you? Who is she? Who's Sarah?" And Ibrahim said, "Sarah is my sister." He lied. He didn't really lie, because she's his sister in Islam. But the Prophet ﷺ said, this is one of the 3 lies Ibrahim has lied in his life. The first lie was when he said, "Inni saqim," when his people said, "Come with us to worship our idols and the stars and the moon." لما رأى كوكبا لما رأى الشمس بازغة. And he said, "Inni saqim," I'm sick. He was not sick. This is the first lie. The second lie, when he said, "Kabiruhum is'alu kabirahum," he's the one who destroyed the idols. And the third lie is this lie, that she's my sister, she's not my wife. And the 3 lies, he did not do them just for the sake of lying. He was doing them for the sake of Allah. The first lie, because he did not want to worship those idols. And the second lie, because he was trying to just use rationality in order to convince these people that what they're doing is wrong, and they're worshiping things that can't benefit them or hurt them. And the third lie, the reason why he lied for it, here's how it goes. Because some people, especially Christian and Jews, they tell Muslims, look, Ibrahim lied. And we tell them, the prophets in Christianity and Judaism, you guys don't respect your prophets, and you think they commit sins. Like, for instance, they say, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, that Lut got drunk and he committed adultery with both of his daughters, and that both of his daughters became pregnant from their father. Disgusting, isn't it? They believe in that. They think this guy is a symbol for them. He's what you call a role model, an example. So how can you claim that? And your example is doing such a thing, right? So they respond to us, well, here, you believe Ibrahim lied. In this case, why did Ibrahim lie? Number 1, this was the very best situation to do, to save himself and his wife. How is he going to save his wife? His wife is going to get raped. Let's see how he's going to save his wife. He saved himself from getting killed. that's put away. Now he believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a concept that many people lack. Other religions, this is what makes Islam very special among any other religion, that in Islam we have the concept that we believe in Allah. We know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. We know He is going to help us and protect us. We have faith in Allah, you know. So he had this faith, he had this concept in his mind. I believe in Allah, He's not going to leave me away. You know, I'm a good person, I worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not going to leave me away. He's not unfair. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most justful person in the world. Excuse me, not person. He's the most justful in the world. So the first thing he did, he went to Sarah, he told her, you know, if they ask you, say I'm his sister. We are the only two Muslims, so don't worry, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us. So she said, okay. She went with the soldiers, and the first thing he did, he went and started praying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He did not just, you know, stay there and be like, yeah, you know, I got saved, I'm happy, I'm not going to die. You know, I just paid my wife as an expense for me to live. He did not do that. He went and he prayed for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said, oh Allah, my family, please keep them away from harm, please keep her away from getting raped, please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He started praying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now what did Sarah do? Ibrahim is smart. He knows that Sarah could take care of herself. So he believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he knows that Sarah could take care of herself. So I think this looks like women's right for me, right? So women are strong. Sarah is strong. That's a symbol there. So Sarah went there, she did wudu, and she started praying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And she said, please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, keep him away from me, keep him away from harming me, keep me only for my husband. Just protect me, protect my body, and this body is, nobody can see it other than my husband. So she approached the king. She saw the king, sorry. And the king approached her, and he extended his hands, wanting to touch her, and harm her, do something terrible for her. And while he was there, in the midway, there are two ways of the story, but the most agreed on is that his hands got paralyzed. It stopped. He could not move it anymore. So Sarah looked at it, and he looked at it, and he was like, make prayers for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that my hands get back, and I promise you I won't touch you. So Sarah made a prayer, and his hands got back again. And so he came again to touch her. The same thing happened. The same thing exactly happened. And the prayer she did, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returned his hands again, moving. A third time, but this time, when his hands returned back, he called his soldiers and he said, take her away. She's not a human, she's a devil. She's not a human. This is their concept. You know, they're worshiping the devil, so for them, what she's doing is godly, right? Because they worship the devil. So he's like, you know, she's not human, she's a devil. Take her away. Take her away and give her Hajar, you know, and give them whatever they want. Now the other variation of the story, it's the same consequence. He said that she's not human, but they just say, instead of his hands getting paralyzed, they say that when he approached her, he got paralyzed fully, his whole body, and he's not conscious anymore. So she said, oh Allah, if they see him, they're going to say that she killed him. So please bring him back, you know. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought him back 3 times, the same thing. And then when he woke up the last time, he was like, no more. You know, she's the devil, just give her whatever she wants. So she returned back to Ibrahim, and she found Ibrahim alayhi salam praying. So we can all imagine all of this. How long did all of this take? And especially back then, there was no communication or cars. So let's say he was like near Sina, and then she was like near Thebes. Thebes is like in the south of Egypt today, right? Al-Uqsar. I think this is the city of Thebes. Taiba, Al-Uqsar, Luxor. So all of this would take time, maybe like days. So during all of this, he was just worshiping Allah. He was praying for Allah. He was asking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect. All of this time, he was just doing that. He has faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, the first time when this is one, by the way, this is one of the ibtila'at. This is one of the tests by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Ibrahim, because he loved Ibrahim, right? Because to make him stronger. The first test was when they threw him into the fire. What did he say? Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. And it saved him. Ya naru kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O flame or O fire, be cold and peace to Ibrahim. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just said, be cold, and he did not say, and be peace, Ibrahim could have died from how cold the fire was going to be. So he said, Kuni bardan wa salaman, be cold and peace. Both cold and peace. And Sarah returned to Ibrahim. Now, here's a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibrahim alayhi salam witnessed the whole thing. What happened between Sarah and the Egyptian king. The whole thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the ability to see what's going on there. SubhanAllah. But he still asked Sarah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did this so he can, what they call Ayn al-Yaqeen in Arabic. It is to 100% be sure of what happened to be true, right? There is a dhan, husn al-dhan. There is al-Yaqeen. There is Ayn al-Yaqeen. Ayn al-Yaqeen is the top part of something being truthful, or you believing something because you witnessed it, right? So Ibrahim asked Sarah, and Sarah told him what happened, and she said that, he gave me Hajar as well, and dahar Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-kafir anni. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept the kafir away from me. So Ibrahim was happy, and of course with Ibrahim and Sarah there was Lut and his wife, by the way, his whole family. So the Egyptian king gave them whatever they wanted. He gave them sheep, he gave them money, so they returned back to Canaan after that. And there in Canaan, Ibrahim bought Ard al-Sab'. In Ard al-Sab', the land of Sab', or the land of the lion, there was a well known as the well of the lion, the well of the Sab', Bi'r al-Sab'. So this is a city in Palestine. It's called Bi'r al-Sab'. Bi'r al-Sab'. He bought this land. He had his sheep there. And let's continue, inshallah. Okay, inshallah. So Bi'r al-Sab', he had his sheep there. He bought this land. And the Canaani people would come and live there with him. And again, the Canaani people are an Arab tribe, remember? So they would understand each other if somebody asks. So he had his family and everyone there. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reveal to Lut alayhi salam. And he'd tell him, you're a prophet. And you have to go to the land or the city of Sadum and Amura. Sadum and Amura are two cities that exist today, but underneath water. They're not on a land. We all know Jordan, right? The kingdom of Jordan. There is a very famous sea there, the Dead Sea. We know the Dead Sea. In the Dead Sea, it's the lowest point on earth, right? So when you go to the Dead Sea, you're going to float. No matter how much you're going to try to go inside, you're going to float very easily, unlike any other sea. So when you're swimming in the Dead Sea, I want you to remember that beneath you are the dead bodies of the people of Sadum and Amura, Qawm Lut, basically. So this land, the Dead Sea, is the place where Qawm Lut were, the people of Lut. Now we're not going to go in detail. Inshallah, we're going to talk about the story of Lut next week. But we all know what Qawm Lut are. And so he went there. Lut and his wife. His wife was not Muslim, by the way. Lut was Muslim, his wife was not Muslim, and he had two daughters. They were Muslim. So they immigrated there because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered it. And Ibrahim stayed in Bi'r al-Sab' with his wife. And the people of the Bi'r al-Sab', they wanted the well all for themselves. So they kicked out Ibrahim from Bi'r al-Sab', and he went to the near the city that is known today as Al-Khalil, where Ibrahim alayhi salam is buried today. In English, it's known as Hebron. They derived it from the Hebrew word, Hebron. So he lived there, and Sarah felt sympathy for Ibrahim alayhi salam because Ibrahim wanted a child. And Sarah is unfertile. She could not get pregnant, no matter what. She's unfertile. She's aqim. So she told him, you can take Hajar, Jariyati, you can take Hajar, get married to her, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may give you a child from her. Okay? So we have that Ibrahim quick note, Ibrahim married two princesses. Sarah, the princess of Haran, Hajar, the princess of the Egyptians. Because some people say, no, Hajar is nothing but a slave, right? No, she's a princess. She has her own position. So he married her, and she got pregnant. Now, when she got pregnant, naturally, this is something in nature, in human nature. Sarah got very jealous, right? So Sarah got very jealous, and she told Ibrahim to keep her away from her. I'm jealous, like she got pregnant and I did not, so you're going to have the child from her. And subhanAllah, the prophets are very merciful, right? This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them. So he really loved Sarah and he really loved Hajar, so he did not want any fight, or he wanted to respect both of them. So Hajar, he kept her away, and he kept Sarah away, but he was merciful for both. He gave both what they wanted and tried to always be justful with both of them. But Hajar got really scared. Someone who was enslaved and her brother was killed in Egypt, she felt like, oh, this is another scenario again. This is going to happen to me again. So she fled away to a nearby lake, but then an angel descended to her, and he came to her, of course, in a form of a human. And he told her, what is in your stomach? What do you have right now? The child you're pregnant with, he's going to be blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Good is going to come from him, and he's going to be a great nation. And he is going to walk on earth. All people are going to follow him and put their hands with his hand. And if he is going to fight anyone who is worshipping the shaitan, he's going to strike him really hard. And he is going to be the king of his brothers. That is Ismail, alayhi salam. So she got really happy, and she returned back. And Sarah calmed down a little bit. She's not jealous anymore. And she gave birth to Ismail, alayhi salam. All right, so now you're seeing that child in front of you. Sarah got extremely jealous this time. She's like, you know what? Never mind. I can't take it anymore. Literally take her away this time. I'm so jealous right now. So Ibrahim alayhi salam says, okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders Ibrahim alayhi salam to go to Mecca. Now let's see the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go to Mecca. Mecca back then, there were no people living in it. It was a dry land. There was no water, no food, nothing. No one. So Ibrahim alayhi salam said to Hajar, bring your infant child Ismail. Let's go to Mecca. So they went to Mecca, and Ibrahim alayhi salam has left her there. So while he was leaving the land, Ibrahim alayhi salam was leaving, and Hajar got shocked. For real? This is a dry land. Where are you leaving us? Ibrahim just left a few dates with her and some little water she can drink of. So she told Ibrahim, these dates and water, maybe 1, 2, 3 days, but we're going to die if you leave us. So Ibrahim kept walking. He did not respond to her. So she grabbed his cloth, and she's like, Ibrahim, where are you going? Where are you leaving us, me and him alone? We're going to die. He did not respond. He kept walking. So she kept insisting, where are you going? And then eventually, he's not responding to her. So she said, did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala order you to do this? So he said, yes. So she said, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this, then he's not going to leave us alone. So look at the faith. You are Ibrahim. Yes, he's a prophet, but you are a human, right? You're not going to benefit me. You're not going to harm me. Let's think about this logically, right? He had few water. He had few dates. No matter how much he's going to bring, he's going to live an extra month? Probably. He's not going to live in this dry land, comfortably. There's no water. So eventually they're going to die if they keep there, if they stay there, right? So eventually, even if Ibrahim stayed, he's not going to benefit him or harm them. The only one who's going to benefit them or harm them is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So she had faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Ibrahim, don't worry, Ismail is a blessed person. I blessed him. I gave him my mercy. I'm going to make his descendants a lot. I'm going to give him a lot of descendants. He's going to be the king of his brothers. And he's going to have 12 great people from his descendants that are going to be justful, fair, and are going to rule people with all justice. The Prophet ﷺ says عن عبد الملك ابن عمير عن جابر بن سمرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يكون 12 أميرا ثم قال كلمة لم أفهمها فسألت أبي ما قال فقال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كلهم من قريش. So according to a narration by Abdul Malik ibn Umayr, narrated by Umayr ibn Jabir, the Prophet narrated by Jabir and Samra, the Prophet ﷺ said, there will be 12 emirs, or like princes, or leaders. And then the Prophet ﷺ said a word that the narrator did not understand, so the narrator asked his father was present there, to what the Prophet ﷺ said. So his father replied that the Prophet ﷺ said, all of them are from Quraysh. So subhanAllah, so we're going to have 12 descending from Ismail. Those 12, they're going to be the most justified and the most fair to rule. 4 of them, we already know who are they. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, wa Ali. Now, some people say the 5th is Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, and some of them is Ibn Abbas, the descendants of Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, the Abbasids who ruled the Muslims. Some say Harun Rashid is one of them. We really don't know, but everything is going to be revealed during the end of times, because certainly the Mahdi is one of them. Now, let's look at this. Let's stop at this point and observe something. Now, the Shia say that the 12 are the 12 Imams, right? Beginning with Ali and ending with Al-Mahdi. Al-Mahdi for them, his name is Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Askari ibn Ali al-Hadi ibn Muhammad ibn Ali al-Rida. That's the Mahdi for them. And he was born during the Abbasids' time in Samira, and he fled. And now he is in a, a cellar or a vault, Sirdab, in Samira, underneath earth. And he's still there. So basically, maybe it's 1,000 years from then to now. So 1,000 years from then to now, he's still alive and there. All right? Of course, this contradicts the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, because Al-Mahdi comes during the end of the times, and he's born during that period of time, not before. And this claim from the Shia, unfortunately, it's very similar to the Messiah of the Jews, Ad-Dajjal. Because Ad-Dajjal, where is he? He's in a cave. He's hiding somewhere in a cave. And inshallah, we're going to see everything getting together, all the threads getting together, because there is a person named Abdullah ibn Saba during Uthman ibn Affan reign, who first said, we should kill Uthman ibn Affan. And he brought the sect known as Al-Khawarij. Al-Khawarij, who are the Khawarij? Today, we have the Khawarij. The Khawarij are extremists. They kill. They don't understand what the Quran says, and they kill. We exactly know who these people are today. People like Al-Qaeda and Daesh, those people, they're called Khawarij. And the Prophet ﷺ said they're kilab ahl an-nar, they're the dogs of hellfire. This same person who established Al-Khawarij, Abdullah ibn Saba, remember he was a Yahudi, he was a Jewish, he never converted to Islam. This same person who tricked those Muslims into becoming a Khawarij, he's the same person who, after killing Uthman, said that Ali is God. And he established the sect of Shia. This is why there's a lot of similarity between them. The same rituals. But back into our topic. And I mentioned this because everything is connected from Ibrahim. Now, we're going to see how everything's connected from Ibrahim until later on. Remember last time, what did I say? Everything gets organized now. The fight between the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the people of the shaitan. Hizbullah wa Hizbul shaitan. Right? everything is now organized. After Namrud, everything is organized into a special order, and now the people of the shaitan have similar rituals. They're following the same thing, doing the same thing. The people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're doing the same thing. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was reported by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about all of this. And of course, the first thing he did, he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save Ismail and Hajar. So we're going to stop here with the story of Ismail. And we're going to talk about Ismail and Lut the next week. Now finally, let's conclude with this. Ibrahim returned to Canaan, right? There was Sarah in Canaan. Now there, after 13 years from the birth of Ismail, so Ismail was born. After 13 years from the birth of Ismail, Ibrahim was safely, and with his wife Sarah, they were safely in their house, living, peacefully, until 3 strange men approaches them. 3 strange men. And those 3 strange men, they were very clean and beautiful, and they had very good manners. They were very polite. So they asked Ibrahim if they can be their guests. So Ibrahim says, Ibrahim and Sarah during that time, for 15 days, they did not have any guests, so they were very happy. So they said, yeah, come in, be our guest. Ibrahim grabbed a very thick sheep, and he slaughtered it, and he grilled it, and gave it to those guests, and he said, eat up. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَبَشَّرْنَاهُ بِإِسْحَاقَ نَبِيًّا مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ وَبَارَكْنَا عَلَيْهِ وَعَلَى إِسْحَاقَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِهِمَا مُحْسِنٌ وَظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ مُبِينٌ. And we gave him good tidings of Ishaq, a prophet from among the righteous. And we blessed him and Ishaq, but among their descendants is the doer of good and the clearly unjust to himself. And he said, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَتْ رُسُلُنَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ بِالْبُشْرَى قَالُوا سَلَامًا قَالَ سَلَامٌ فما لبث أن جاء بعجل حنيذ فلما رأى أيديهم لا تصل إليه نكرهم وأوجس منهم خيفة قالوا لا تخف إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم لوط وامرأته قائمة فضحكت فبشرناها بإسحاق ومن وراء إسحاق يعقوب قالت يا ويلتى أألد وأنا عجوز وهذا بعلي شيخا إن هذا لشيء عجيب قالوا أتعجبين من أمر الله رحمة الله وبركاته عليكم أهل البيت إنه حميد مجيد. And certainly did our messengers come to Ibrahim with good tidings. They said peace. He said peace, and did not delay in bringing them a roasted calf. But when he saw their hands not reaching for it, he distrusted them and felt from them apprehension. They said, fear not, we have been sent to the people of Lut. And his wife was standing and she smiled. Then we gave her good tidings of Ishaq. And after Ishaq, Yaqub. She said, woe to me, shall I give birth while I'm an old woman, and this my husband is an old man? Indeed, this is an amazing thing. They said, are you amazed at the decree of Allah? May the mercy of Allah and His blessings be upon you, people of the house. Indeed, He is praiseworthy and honorable. ونبئهم عن ضيف إبراهيم إذ دخلوا عليه فقالوا سلاما قال إنا منكم وجلون قالوا لا توجل إنا نبشرك بغلام عليم قال أبشرتموني على أن مسني الكبر فبما تبشرون. And informed them about the guests of Ibrahim when they entered upon him and said, peace. Ibrahim said, indeed we are fearful of you. The angel said, fear not, indeed we give you good tidings of a learned boy. The same story. So basically those people approached Ibrahim. They sat there. He gave them the sheep, the grilled sheep, and they did not reach it. They did not eat from it. So Ibrahim looked at this like, why are you not eating? So he distrusted them. He felt fear. So they told him, hey, don't be afraid. Don't fear. We were sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the people of Lut because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to punish them. Those 3 men were Mikael, Jibril, and Israfil. They came in the form of a human. But they said, we stopped at your place because we wanted to tell you that your wife Sarah is going to get pregnant with Ishaq alayhi salam. So Sarah looks and she smiles. She's like, you guys are joking or something. Like, I'm an old woman and I'm unfertile. I can't give birth. And Ibrahim is like a very old man. I think Ibrahim was in his, I think he was 90 years old back then. 90 years old. So the angels looked at her strangely and they said, are you not trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to do anything. إِنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. So there of course, Sarah and Ibrahim, they had faith. Like, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us have the same faith they had. So they had strong faith, and they said, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said so, that's it. No more arguments. So there, she got pregnant with Ishaq, she gave birth to Ishaq. So Ismail and Ishaq, they were born in Canaan, Palestine. And after Ibrahim got Ishaq, his child, he got married to another woman. Her name was Qantura bint Yaqtan. Qantura bint Yaqtan al-Kan'aniyya. She was a Canaanite. And from her, she had Midian. Familiar name, isn't it? Midian. Midian is going to be the ancestor of Shu'aib. So Shu'aib is a descendant of Ibrahim. And Shu'aib is Arab. He's Arabi. He's Arab. Right? The people of Midian are Arab. Let's keep on the track. Midian from Qantura, and Zamran and Sarj and Yaqshan and Nashaq. These names are very Arab, right? Arab names. After that, he got married to Hajun bint Amin. Hajun bint Amin, so another Arab woman. And she gave birth to Kaysan, Sawraj, Umaym, Lutan, and Nafis. Arab names. So what happened with these people, the children of Ibrahim, now we have Ismail, Ishaq, and those people, they spread from Syria to Yemen. So basically they occupy or inhabited Syria, Levant, the Sham, Syria, like, modern day Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, Sinai, parts of Iraq, like Al-Mosul. And they inhabited Al-Jazira al-Arabiya, like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, Yemen, Emirat, those places. They inhabited those places. They lived there. And they intermixed with who? Ismail. And they spoke Arabic, Al-Arabiya al-Mubina. Now last time, what did we say about Ibrahim and Ismail being Arab? That Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was an Arab descent. His parents, his ancestors were Arab. Hud was his ancestor. Hud was Arab. And Faligh, he has another name, by the way. Al-Qasim. Al-Qasim. And he went to Mesopotamia. They spoke the Chaldean Syriac dialect of Arabic. So Ibrahim spoke an Arabic dialect. He's of an Arab descent. His child Ismail, his mother is Egyptian. When he went to Mecca, Jurhum came over. Jurhum spoke the Masnadi Arabic dialect. So when he spoke, he mixed the Egyptian Arabic dialect back then. He mixed the Chaldean Syriac dialect. He mixed the Masnadi dialect. And he revived the Arabic that Adam alayhi salam was taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is Al-Arabiyya al-Mubina that we speak today. The Arabiyya of the Quran. So Ismail is an Arabi Mubin. Unlike Ibrahim, he is of Arab descent. He's of Arabiyya Mubina descent, but he is not Arab. He speaks an Arabic dialect. Ishaq spoke Al-Aramiyya, which is a mixture of the dialect of Al-Kan'aniyin and the Chaldeans, which produced Aramaic. And Aramaic would be further mixed with Egyptian and other dialects, which would produce the Hebrew dialect. So am I saying that Hebrew is an Arabic dialect? Yes, Hebrew is an Arabic dialect. Am I saying that Ishaq is Arab? Yes, he's Arab. Am I saying that Israel or Yaqub is Arab? Yes, he's Arab. So Al-Asbat are Arab? Yes, they're Arabs. Which means that Al Ibrahim Arab. So they're one nation. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran? كَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ أُمَّةً. Ibrahim is one nation, ummah. So they all descend from the same thing. They're the same ethnicity. They spoke the same language. Inshallah, we're going to discuss about Ishaq, Ismail, and Lut, the story of them next week, inshallah. So this would be the third part of Ibrahim next week, inshallah. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي بالحق وإنه لا يقضى عليك وإنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا، ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، ولا تسلط علينا إلا من يرحمنا يا أرحم الراحمين يا أكرم الأكرمين. وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الفاتحة. جزاكم الله خير.